Hello everyone, I chose 3 solo albums each from Albert, Järvinen, Cisse and Remu. Obviously because both Cisse and Albert only made 3 solo albums. Remu made a lot more than that, and you would think that I would have chosen the first 3 solo albums by Remu, but I only have the first one of those and never have heard the other 2, so I chose the solo albums that he made after Hurriganes. I don't have anything from Ile or Janne Louhivuori, so those were left off because of that reason. I'm showing these albums in the order in which they were released, so you might need pen and paper to keep up with which album, which is the final order in the way that I placed these albums. First one was Albert Järvinen, 1974, Ride On. And first thing that I noticed when listening to this is the poor sound of it. At that time there wasn't much production to be talked about when thinking of Finnish albums. They just set the faders in one position and said play the whole album in, cut the album and that's it. And it sounds like it. The only thing that in my opinion really sounds good and sharp here is the lead vocals by Dave Lindholm on Going to Louisiana song. But there are great songs here like Teenage Nervous Breakdown, Hot Matter, Sister Sue, Going to Louisiana, Patchy Moss. So yeah, most of all I like these songs, but not everything here is great. Cover of Elvis Presley's Don't Be Cruel, not a great version. It's okay, but yeah, just not a great version. What is far worse is Species Quarter, the final song on the album here. It's an attempt at playing funk, but they just don't know how to play funk, so it's a poor attempt at funk. No, not a good one. But what is far worse here is the song Freezing, Like Crying, Playing. Even the title is stupid, but it's not really a song, it's just tape loops, sounds from the studio, feedback, just absolutely stupid. It should never have been included on this album. I don't know why they chose to put it here. Maybe it was to get some kind of a cool points. Idiotic decision. Should have been left off from here. I placed this at number 7. Second one to release a solo album was Cisse in 1976, Teen Dreams. And this is what the title says, Teen Dreams. These are covers from late 50s, early 60s. These are like romantic, mellow, soft, poppy. But in its style, it's great. I think it works very, very good. If you just like that kind of a stuff. Most obviously, these are like what was done during the early 60s. But the only thing that I don't like here are the backing vocals by the Babicin sisters, Muska and Anna. Their vocal harmonies just aren't that good. It's most apparent here on the song Be My Baby. It sounds like a sore thumb there. Doesn't work, but other than that, I think it's a very, very good album. I like this a lot. I placed this at number 3. Cisse was also the first one to release a second solo album, Summer Party, in 1979. And the basic idea here is the same, covers from late 50s, early 60s, but this time it's not Teen Dreams, this time it's hard rock and roll. These are fast-paced versions, tight rock and roll. Most apparent this is on the Everly Brothers cover, Price of Love. It's much faster song. It's hard to even recognize it as the same song. But yeah, again, great album. But the only downside to me here is that at some songs they could have benefited from playing a bit slower. It sounds like they are trying a bit too much on some of the songs. But overall, I think it's a very, very good album. I placed this at number 4. Then Cisse also released his third solo album from 1984, I Love You Anyway. And this is the only one of these 9 albums that I don't like. The worst thing about this album is that these are like 50s style rock and roll songs, and they use, on some of the songs, they use Simmons drums, synth drums. Just absolutely out of place, sounds absolutely horrible. Maybe they were trying to be of their time, but it just doesn't work. It sounds horrible. Then there's the songwriting. Majority of the songs are written by Cisse and Albert, although Albert's contribution are credited to V. Ahti, who was his wife at the time. Albert was trying to dodge some taxes. And the songwriting just isn't that good here. There's no real highlights here. None of the songs are really that bad, but they just aren't that good. That's just, bar is set very low here. Not great songs. And what's worse is Kisse's voice. His drinking had caused his voice to deteriorate. It's gravely, it's strained, it's even growling at places. Just doesn't sound very good. Yeah, this one goes at the bottom, number 9. Then, after his Hurriganes years, Remu released his first post-Hurriganes solo album, Live at Café Metropole, from 1985, and this is a quantum leap away from Hurriganes, has nothing whatsoever to do with Hurriganes. These are like 40s type style jazz, swing. It's not jazz or swing, but it takes elements from that type of music, and it works very well. I think that there's great songs here like Niin tai näin, Haaremin ruusu, Miksi menit pois, Vilkuilevat silmät, Paholaisen masurkka. But not really a downside here, but not all of the songs are yet that great, and the band here hasn't really fully grasped the style here yet. So in the future they would do better. That's why I placed this at number 6. And 2 years later, Remu and his All-Stars would release the second one, first studio album, Viitta vailla 2. And this is in every way better version of Live at Café Metropole. The band has finally perfected this style. The arrangements are fuller, there are more instruments here, songwriting is overall better. This is simply just in every way better version of that previous album. I placed this at number 2. And the next year, 1988, Albert Järvinen would release his second solo album, Brain Damage or Still Alive, and it's a fantastic album. Albert used a lot of money to make this album, and because of that, he was able to recruit a large cast of players here, musicians. So there's several vocalists, several bass players, several drummers. So each one could pick and choose who would work best on which song. And even Albert King himself makes an appearance here. So yeah, I think this is just absolutely fantastic. The original material, the cover versions are chosen very well. Fantastic album, absolutely brilliant. Albert used his money very well. I placed this at number 1. And then 1991, just after Albert's death, came his third and final solo album, Mirror Tower, 1991. This is a bit more, whereas the Brain Damage album was blues rock, blues, rock and roll, this is more like heavier rock music. Maybe he had taken something from the collaboration he did the previous year with Backsliders. So the first song, The Tribe here, very strong, heavier type of rock music. There's 2 cover versions here, Drifter's Escape, Bob Dylan song, and it's so different that it's you really have to listen to the lyrics to hear that it's the same song. And then a Cream cover wrapping paper. Cream version is mellow, very simple, very straightforward, and this one has the rhythm going, bouncing like from side to side. Very different, but this time I have to say that I do prefer Cream version to this one. There's not really any bad songs here. The weakest one here is All the Way to the End. Yeah, it could have been better song. And then there's Peace and Harmony, which as a song I think it's a good one, but they could have paid more close attention to the arrangement there. Yeah, every part of the song just doesn't work that well. But yeah, I think it's a good final album from Albert. I placed this at number 5. Which leaves the third and final album here by Remu, Andalusian Muistelut, Andalusian Reminiscences from 2013. And this, when this was released, it was said that this is his tango album, but it's not. Just from the beginning, Andalusia, it's in Spain, not in Argentina, where tango comes from. And there are two different tangos. There's the Argentinian tango, the original, where the beat and the rhythm is much more pronounced than what is here in Finland. And these are rock musicians playing here, and they don't really grasp either one of those styles. And there's not really, none of these songs are tango. It's different kind of music. Songwriting here, some of the songs are better, some of the songs are not that great. But this is the only album out of these 9, when I listen to these, that was actually worse than what I remembered. And the bad thing about this was that I paid close attention listening to this. And to begin with, Remu isn't that great vocalist, but when he sings in his own style, he has mastered his own style. He works very good that way, but here he tries to be a proper vocalist. So you can hear how somebody is telling him in the studio that sing like this. So it just doesn't work that well. In its way, it's like it's good singing, but since it's not really his style, it just doesn't sound convincing. Yeah, an okay album, but it could have been better. I placed this at number 8. Yeah, okay, that's it for this time. Hope you like this. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Bye.